The perfect workout split for lower body strength gains exists. Build strength in your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings, and even your calves. We're gonna break down that specific program using a 3-day split and a 5-day split, and we're gonna start right now. So let's investigate a 3-day split specifically for building up those legs. So on a 3-day split, we want to look at, first, why are we doing this? If you recognize that maybe you have weak legs, you're a little bit slow, you're not as explosive as you wanna be, you need more volume, we're gonna start off with that leg power day. So lower body power day is gonna be day 1. Then we're gonna go into an athlete day. We've gotta build you up as an athlete. We gotta give your nervous system the chance to learn how to fire freaking rapidly. And then finally, we're gonna work on impulse. Impulse is gonna be learning how to apply a massive amount of force, typically in a shorter period of time. So that's that 3-day split. So we can start off with an explosive movement. Boom, boom, like a power snatch. Boom, boom, boom. I can hear all you guys right now. I don't want to do power snatches. I don't like the snatcher clean. I don't think you should do weightlifting derivatives. So if you don't want to do them, you can do something like a dumbbell jumps or dumbbell snatches or hang power snatches or high hang power snatches or 2-block snatches or a high hang clean or a low hang clean, because in all reality, you should be doing these weightlifting derivatives to learn how to move heavy weight fast. Next, we're gonna get into an absolute strength movement. So we can do something like a back squat. Okay, so we're here, we can do a high bar back squat, full range of motion. We can do low bar. We can do front squats. We can do single leg squats. We can do safety bar squats. We can do Duffalo bar squats. We can do anything along those lines to increase our max strength in our legs. And then the day will conclude with hypertrophy and accessory movements that are going to target your quads. Maybe your tibialis, your anterior tibialis, your calves, your hamstrings, even your hips, your lower back a little bit. Think about something like tibialis curls or leg curls, single leg curls, maybe razor curls, glute ham raises, single leg glute bridges. The list goes on. Oh, that's a good pump. And with a 3-day split, we're going to rest the next day, and then we're gonna get into that athlete day. So on that athlete day, I do like to base everything off of simple progressions, okay? So if we would go through, and we start off then with some PVC pipe walks. Then we would get into that technical coordination movement like a power snatch or hang clean, something along those lines. After we did the PVC pipe walks and after we did that technical coordination movement, the next thing I would do is an easy bilateral movement like a box jump. Okay, here, boom, touch, go, touch, go. And if we have a more advanced athlete, one thing we can do is get creative. We go here, bilateral, and do a unilateral landing. Here, boom, boom. Try to react quickly. The next thing that we could do is a hurdle hop. Let's say anywhere from 2 to 6 hurdles set up, and we're going through a sequence. Boom, boom, boom. Ideally, you're gonna react faster than the way I just did, and your pants won't fall down. And then after you hit those hurdle hops, if you're really starting to feel twitchy, you wanna get even more creative with a complex, okay? Now we're gonna go unilateral jumps into a bilateral jump. And so this might look like a Jan jump series. So we're here like this, boom, 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 boom. So that would be an easy breakdown of a specific athlete day. So on the 3-day split, we're going to do that athlete day, then we're gonna take a rest day, and then we're gonna come back into the gym and slaughter impulse-based training. We've had a video where we've gone into speed strength, should be termed impulse-based training. We have to think through that lens of force and time. And if we have a massive amount of force or a large amount of force applied and that time frame is decreased, let's say we're running at high speeds, that's what we're really trying to look at when we're thinking through that impulse lens. We're gonna focus on moving weight as quickly as possible, okay? So we might do something like a low hang power clean as fast as we can, or we might do a 2-box snatch where we're going to decrease the range of motion, which in turn will decrease the time, but have that same amount of weight on the bar, so the force applied has to be higher. Those are some interesting ways that we use to increase rate of force development, peak force, or average velocity. Those are all variables that will in turn boost that impulse expression. So that impulse day is gonna be similar to doing a dynamic effort training session. And this is something that we use when we're looking at laying out our programming. We love that Lulu split. Lower body, upper body, lower body, upper body. With a 3-day split, it's all legs. And you can access that Lulu split inside your pocket by just heading over to peakstrength.app app, the Google Play Store or the Apple iOS Store, you can download Peak Strength today and start those freakish gains. Ultimately, Garage Strength believes in that Lulu split with an athlete day thrown inside the middle. And what that's gonna look like is a leg power day followed by an upper body power day. Then we're gonna sneak in that athlete day. Then we're gonna do a leg impulse focused day followed by a hypertrophy day. But the big aspect here is, what if that's not enough leg work? What if you're weak or you're slow, or you know that there's some low-hanging fruit and you need more volume to target those legs? What if you wanna do legs all day, every day, all of the time? One way to do this would basically require you to train like an Olympic weightlifter. And training like an Olympic weightlifter can be grueling. And we're talking like marathon levels of strength training. It's a sport where day in and day out, you've got to come in, you've got to snatch, or you got to clean, or you got to do some type of jerk, or some type of squat, some type of pull, every single day. The jerk is going to be one of the only exercises that has any upper body involvement, more so push presses. And even doing that at the same time, you're gonna have a dip and a drive, which is going to be training those legs in some type of high speed variety. This, oh, my elbow. One more. Basically, the jerk or a push press is like the most athletic quarter squat that you can perform. But I'm gonna say that most of you watching this video don't wanna train like Olympic weightlifters. However, I will say most of you are watching this because you might feel sluggish, a little slow, not as explosive as you wanna feel. And so we've got to figure out how to add in some unique volume to increase that leg power output and make you more athletic. Training lower body 5 days a week means that we're gonna start with 3 days of work, then we're gonna take 1 rest day, we're gonna do 2 days of work, then we're gonna take another rest day. And one of the big factors around rest in general, especially inside of your own training, is that in our strength training app, Peak Strength, we've got over 700 different exercises, and then inside of those specific programs, we lay out what are those movements that you're gonna do and what is the rest period that you're actually using. When you have a specific rest period, you're gonna elicit specific adaptations that are gonna help you solve those different problems inside of your own training. So one of the big aspects around training athletes in a sport like sprint cycling, when I'm working with Hugo Barrett, one of the things that we like to do is actually have that day one be a ballistic primer to a point. We might do something like A skips or B skips, easy pogos, okay? So we're here, boom, 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 boom. You're gonna do something like that just to really wake everything up. Those pogos might be here, just boom, 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 boom. Trying to be as ballistic as possible. You can work into some other plyometric movements on this day. You know, skips for height, skips for distance, champion strides, anything that's gonna help improve that impulse expression, okay? That's gonna be that day one. Day two is gonna be that leg power day. This is gonna be the same day setup as that 3-day split. So day two, we're focusing on big time freaking strength, big time power output. So day three is gonna be set up with an eccentric-less loading, okay? So we can do something simple like do sled pushes here, right? And I'm gonna push, get down to the end of the turf, get that nice quad pump. Hopefully I can get this around my body. It's actually one unique test I also like to do is, am I fatter than the person that sat on the seat in an airplane before me? And clearly I was fatter than the person who used this sled before me.
Sad, fat man who's sad and fat and sad.
Now I'm gonna sit here and I'm gonna pull this backwards, okay? So we can do eccentric-less loading on day three, and you can do this with some upper body calisthenic movements. Thinking about Hugo, being that we were training legs so frequently, he actually got to a point where we had to use a little bit of upper body work just so that he could maintain his structural integrity when he's handling like a front squat or catching that snatch. It's nothing crazy with the upper body, but enough calisthenic work that we can actually see some type of muscular gains in that upper body structure. So that day four impulse day is gonna be focusing on doing that explosive movement first, and then we can use something like an absolute strength movement like this back squat, using some unique work like tempo contrast training. So we might do a movement like this where we go a full range of motion back squat with a slower eccentric, pause, and then go up fast through unbroken reps. That's gonna force us to recruit very, very rapidly, okay, increasing that rate of force development, and in turn, improving our impulse expression. Day 5 is going to be a hypertrophy day with a lower body focus. We've got to look at specific weak points that we might have based off of our genetics, based off of our sport, based off of what we've done in the past. And we want to start off that day with something explosive and then get into those hypertrophy exercises that are going to target those problem areas with a large amount of metabolites. Lower back, poof, poof, poof. You can do banded back extensions. Weak hamstrings, you can do those RDLs. Weak knees, you can do Spanish squats. But make sure you extend and squeeze those quads at the top. Boom! Quads need a pump. Get on the leg press. Whether it's a 3-day or a 5-day split where we're focusing entirely on legs, we're gonna be increasing speed, increasing that impulse expression, and leading to a massive amount of freakish gains. Because remember, freaks, if you wanna become a champion, you've always gotta cultivate your power. Peace.